The newly elected president of Iran isn't wasting any time settling into the job. Hassan Rouhani spent his first day in office holding meetings on the country's economy. He says Iran's dire economic challenges will not be solved overnight. Rouhani is seen as a moderate conservative, and his surprise victory is drawing mixed reaction from the international community today. Jeff Semple is watching that reaction from Washington and joins me now. Jeff, the Obama administration, first of all, seeming cautiously optimistic. What is the White House saying exactly?
Well, that's right, Asha. The reaction from Washington, sort of a mix between cautiously optimistic and also pleasantly surprised after an election result that few here had been expecting. Of course, as you say, Hassan Rouhani, a man considered to be one of the most moderate in the six-way race, a man who campaigned on improving individual freedoms and improving relationships with the rest of the world, a man who won more than 50% of the popular vote in an election with an impressive voter turnout of more than 70%. Once those results were announced, it sparked mass celebrations in the streets of Iran, thousands taking part in the same streets where thousands held protests during the country's last election in 2009 that handed then-President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad his second and final term, an election result that many said was rigged. After those results were announced back in 2009, you remember the White House came out condemning the results. Today, though, their tone was much different, sounding much more conciliatory. This morning, the White House Chief of Staff spoke on CBS Face the Nation and called the election result a potentially hopeful sign, and he encouraged the new president to come clean on what the White House calls that country's illicit nuclear program.
And lots of talk about Iran's nuclear program on the international level. Israel, though, focusing in on it. What are the Israelis' main concerns about it?
Well, that's right. And of course, Israel, a country that has been under constant threat from past Iranian regimes. Today, the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, was sounding much more pessimistic, and he warned and cautioned the international community about getting caught up in what he called wishful thinking. Listen to what he had to say.
In any event, Iran's ruler, the so-called supreme leader, is the one who determines the nuclear policy and not the president. The more pressure exerted on Iran, the greater the chances to bring an end to Iran's nuclear weapons program.
And that is the source of much of the pessimism that we've been hearing after this result, that Iran's real power lies with its supreme ruler and not with its president, so that even if Rouhani was sincere in his claims to reach out to the international community, he has no real authority over that country's nuclear program. And certainly not helping Israel's feeling, I'm sure, is the fact that Syria and Hezbollah, the militant group, also released their own statements congratulating Iran's new president and saying that they look forward to working together. So it remains to be seen what his presidency will look like. In his first address to his people, he used words like moderation and dialogue, but of course, words are one thing. It's his first actions that you can bet everyone will be waiting to see.
Indeed, a lot of eyes watching that. Thanks, Jeff. Jeff Semple in Washington.